Welcome everyone to the Cat 1-2 Texas and Oklahoma Cyclocross State Champs. I'll put a full race link in the description, but this is just some of the important parts. So here's the start. I had a decent start, got clipped in pretty quick, and had a decent sprint off the line. Still had a little bit of ground to make off, but for me it wasn't too bad. I wasn't completely at the back at least. On the inside, I think that was a pretty good spot in this corner. Kind of able to pass a couple people or come out in front of the people who I was kind of in the same wide as. This is a tricky corner right here. Wasn't too bad on the first lap though. But yeah, here we are. We're getting ready to go up the first and largest hill on the course. This is a pretty long drag, and if you're feeling it, this will really hurt you, but I generally like this hill. I was able to make up some ground at different points in the race, so this was pretty good. There's Malachi. He was in the battle for first. He comes past. Maybe could have made up a little bit of more ground here, but I think I was pretty tired from the start already. So in decent positioning, I think in the end we're on the same place, but past a couple of slower people and a couple faster people past me. So coming down here, this is all just pretty straightforward. Gotta watch out for some of the sidewalk lips, but nothing too bad. Coming around the street, it was pretty much just a long line of us after the start. So here we are coming over the barriers a little bit later on the first lap. I'm not riding them, so I'm a little bit slower there. Get gapped off from Tayton in front of me, who was riding them and was able to make up some ground. But going into the woods up here, I'm not too far off of the group, so I'm hoping that since they're kind of clumped together and it's going to be technical, that I'll be able to catch back on fairly easily and not lose them. Gotta watch out for that sidewalk lip. This is a bit of a tricky off-camber here. I don't feel like I was the fastest on that corner, but it's what it is. Bunny hop over that little concrete thing, and I've already made up some ground. Heading into the start of the woods. Little bridge, or not here, but some rocks you gotta watch out for on the outside. So we're going up this little climb. I'm just at this point trying to get onto my teammate Lawrence's wheel to kind of make it into that little group that's at the front and make sure I don't get gapped off right away. No, my technical skills aren't the best compared to some of the people, but I'm also stronger than them on the road, so I'm just trying to stay with them. This is a little tricky mud section. It's the only muddy part on the course is this little corner, and this can really catch you out. It's kind of rutted and hard to steer your way around the corner, and then it's straight into another climb. It's pretty steep coming out of it right there, and then kind of levels off towards the top. But this is kind of another long drag climb, and it's really bumpy too, so it's hard to get traction and really put down power. It's kind of really lumpy grass and dirt. But I make up some good ground here. I pass my teammate Lawrence, and I think I sneak back past Tayton too. Yeah, here I do. Kind of come through on the inside. And now I'm trying to catch back up to Stefan, who I caught right before he flatted the weekend before. I know we're pretty evenly matched, so he's a good wheel for me to try and get on. This is a steep downhill coming up right here with this left corner. Gotta make sure you don't go flying off into the tape there. Gotta brake a lot, and we're into another steep uphill. This is a fairly undulating woods, so here we are. Me and Stefan are together on the second lap. Just get forward a couple of minutes in the race going into this climb. You can see there's a group of two in front of us, and Stefan has a ton of road power, so he's putting in a big effort up this hill to try and catch up to, I think it was Chad Cook and Paul Bonds, and they were in third and fourth. We're in fifth and sixth right now, so you can see Stefan and I have pretty much already caught them just on that short little hill. So we're pretty much all together at the top of this hill, going around that little tricky corner, and then getting ready to head back down the hill. So there's Beckett and Malachi were off the front, and then we kind of had a group of four a few seconds behind them. Not quite on them yet. I'm a little bit behind Stefan here too, but we're pretty much all together. We'll be able to make up ground on the descent. I should be able to catch back up here and kind of be in the group. This is a pretty fast descent. You can really get some speed going. You can see I'm going 25 there, and we're not even pedaling, so coming in this corner, you can't be going too fast. It gets pretty tight. So this is kind of there's some loose corners around here with some dirt and like loose, I don't even know what to call it, stuff you'd have on like the playground. But just got to make sure you don't slide out in any of these corners or go into the tape taking it too fast, because you'll lose a lot more time there. But there's nothing too tricky about this part. Stefan's putting in big efforts on all the flats or all the straight sections, just in between any little chance he can get between corners to try and make up as much ground as he can, because he's not the best technically, but he has a lot of power. So here he pretty much caught up to Paul and Chad. Kind of have a group of 4 going. I don't think there's anyone on my wheel at this point. I think we have a clear gap to whoever's behind. So at this point, we're just trying to stay on them and see if we can maybe even pass them at some point. I'm just kind of content with staying on Stefan's wheel. I know we're pretty even, and he has big power, so I can just kind of suck his wheel, which I'm pretty good at, and we can try and make up a lot of ground. You can see just in those corners, they got a bit of a gap when it gets slightly more technical, but going over the barrier, Stefan's really fast running too. So I think he makes up a bit of ground on them where I don't. But after we go into the woods, Paul Bond kind of got a bit of a gap, sawing that we were here. So it was kind of a group of 3 now. Paul is ahead, and Stefan puts in another big tack to come straight around Chad. I'm just trying to stay on his wheel, so I think I come around him here too. And then I'm just trying to catch up to Stefan, but he is really hammering up the hill. I'm just doing everything I can to try and not get dropped off him. You can see my heart rate's in the 193 right now. That's really high, so especially for an hour-long race. So, but I pretty much caught up to Stefan in those couple little corners. You can see Paul has a bit of a gap. So at this point, we just kind of start trying to work together to see if we can catch back up to Paul after he gapped us in the previous woods. I come around Stefan there, and we kind of work together for a couple laps, but we don't really catch Paul. He ends up pulling away further, and it becomes apparent it's just going to be a race between us 2 for 4th, that the podium's kind of gone, and we can't catch them. So here we are going into the woods on the 6th lap, and nothing really happened in between. Stefan's leading. I led most of the way, I'd say, but here Stefan just happens to be in the front. You can see Paul's already around that corner, maybe, I don't know, 20 seconds ahead of us, but or maybe even more, I don't know. That's going to be kind of hard to make up. So Stefan kind of gaps me a bit on that little climb. I don't think I have the best corner right there. And coming down this descent, though, I think I kind of make up some ground, push a little harder than he is. Right here, yeah, so I've made up a little bit of ground. Pretty much on his wheel going in this tricky mud corner. I think I might make up a bit of ground here. So I'm basically right on him. But then going up this climb, he puts in another really big attack. And I don't have that in me, so he gaps me a bit again. And then this is kind of the long drag up to the top of the woods here, over to the left. So you'll see out of this corner, he's out of the saddle, full sprint. And at this point, he's trying to gap me. We're not really working together anymore or anything. So he's putting in a big dig. I'm trying my best to stay on him, but I'm pretty much cooked, or not cooked, but I don't have it in me. So he gets a bit of gap. Now we turn to go back down the hill, hoping that I can make up a bit of time here when it's more technical, not as much just sheer power. There's a couple, tight corners in that steep downhill at the bottom of this. So I'm just trying to be as smooth as possible to catch back up to him. I get pretty close right here while we're on this downhill. He's not far ahead of me. Right here, I take that better than he does. And we're pretty much right on each other going into this climb, but again, he puts in another big dig. I'm a little slower on that climb. Skip forward a couple minutes. Now we're going onto the hill for the 7th lap. We were pretty much together, but he's putting in another big out of the saddle dig, which I don't have in me right now. So he starts pulling away. I'm just trying to do everything I can to stay on him. I know there's only 3 laps left, but I can't really do it. Yeah, he pulls away. Coming up this hill, I'm going all out, but can't catch him. So at this point, there's not giving up, but just trying to do as good as I can in the corners to try and make up time, hoping I can get back on him. Maybe it takes a bad line somewhere and I can catch up. So I'm all out at this point trying to catch him. Didn't really make up any ground there, though. hoping that I can at the bottom of the hill, but can never really catch up to him any ground I make up. He pulls back away from me again. So we had a really good battle there for a couple laps, maybe 3 or 4 laps, 5 laps we were together, doing some good battle, but in the end he came out on top. But this was still a really good race for me, 5th in the Cat 1-2. I was super happy with that, and it was a super fun race. So yeah, that's it for today. Be sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.